it's another day here on the Park Lark channel, and we're going to take a quick walk through Disney's California Adventure. We're going to check to see if there's any changes that have been made in anticipation of Oogie Boogie Bash, which begins next month in about 3 weeks. I believe it's mid-August. I don't remember the exact date. So we'll take a look to see if there's any Halloween merch and any early Halloween decorations. So why don't you come and join me, won't you? This is the iconic lagoon where they do the World of Color water show. They are probably getting ready. They have all the nozzles above the water line, and they're probably just cycling through some test cycles to make sure things are ready. The pal around is an iconic component to the pier, the Pixar Pier, along with the Incredicoaster, which is going up the hill there and coming out the other end. So here at Disney's California Adventure, this is a very popular photo spot. And later tonight, when it's dark, and the shows, there's 2 performances for the World of Color. When their times occur, this area here with these terraces fill up with people, and it gets quite the turnout for the show. It's a really beautiful show. The port of San Fransokyo, which is from Big Hero, debuted last year and was rethemed, as you see it here. The bridge was transformed from the Golden Gate to this Asian fusion of the Golden Gate. Mountains right here in Carsland. We're taking this footage from Radiator Springs Racers. You can see them going in the background. Maybe we'll see another pair of racers come down this hill here in the foreground behind these cactuses. There goes one. this area is under development for an expansion of the Avengers campus. There are a few artists' conceptual drawings here. Let's take a look. But those who are familiar with what it looked like before, notice a complete opening. There used to be restrooms to the right above this wall, and now they're completely gone, and it just opens up the whole skyline. So there are lots of things planned for development in terms of new attractions here in Disney's California Adventure. Among them are the Avenger campus expansion that I just mentioned and that we're looking at. In addition is a Coco Land, a Avatar Land. So those are things that are going to be happening over the next 5 years. And it's really exciting to bring much more attractions to Disney's California Adventure. It has really gone a dramatic evolution from its first iteration back in the 90s or early 2000s to what it is today, 25 years later, and what it's going to be 5 years from now, 30 years later. So the Disney company continues to invest in its premier line of business, which are the Disney parks. So this is the Hyperion Theater courtyard, and it has been the location of several special events that have been held since the 70th anniversary of the Disneyland Resort was kicked off in May. And they're returning here again in about a half a month's time for a giveaway to the Magic Key holders. They're giving away a tote with Disneyland's 70th anniversary theming on it, and you'll need a reservation to come to this park, California Disney Adventure, and you'll need a virtual queue to be able to be allowed into this area where they will give you the tote. So as of the recording of this, which is in the latter part of July, that's about a few weeks away. If you've been to Disney California Adventure in the past, this may look familiar to you. It's known as Hollywood Studios. That building there is an actual functional studio, or at least it can be. I don't think they've been using it in a very long time, but all of this area is earmarked for redevelopment and will be the Avatar Land. So I don't know when the scheduling is, but probably next year they'll begin, and it'll start with demolition and then the construction of the new land. Well, friends, although we didn't find any indication of changes for the Halloween season in Oogie Boogie Bash at Disney's California Adventure, we did get a chance to see some sights and sounds, if you will, of the park. In addition, we were able to capture and record for you the parade, the Better Together parade, and so I hope you enjoyed that as well. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think of these videos and the things that we cover in them. Hope that you find them enjoyable and that you'll come back to the channel over and over again. We're headed towards the haunt season, as many a vlogger will call it, which is at the end of the summer. Here in Southern California, we have a number of Halloween haunt events at the theme parks. Oogie Oogie Bash was one here at Disneyland. It's their version of a haunted special event. It's an after dark special event. Also at Universal Studios, there's Halloween Horror Nights. It's much more intense, and the mazes are full of scare actors and a lot of theming that goes on, and including on the backlot studio tour, they do some special things. So we'll be covering that as well. We'll also be going to the Queen Mary, which is the site of the Dark Harbor Halloween event. And there's also the venerable Knott's Berry Farm, Scary Farm event that is covering that as well. There's also a special Knott's Reveal event. It's kind of a preview for a few hours coming up next month in mid-August. So we'll be at that. And then we'll be back again for the actual Scary Farm, which runs, I think, into the early hours of the morning. Please come back. We'll have more entertaining videos showcasing the theme parks and their transitions from summer to Halloween to the holidays, and all of the special events that they hold in the parks for those things. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you for viewing, and see you next time in the next video.